Welcome in here to the third edition of AD Update. Long time no see, everybody. Glad you're with us. Brandon Wirth, Steve Brockelbank, Athletic Director, joining me. It's a great weekend upcoming in Bulldog Athletics.
Wow. It's a busy weekend.
Yeah.
We have a lot going on. And it begins right here, actually.
Yeah.
Thursday. We host NCAA Regional Volleyball with the Bulldogs starting their match at 4:30 against UMSL, what we call UMSL, University of Missouri St. Louis. And so that goes at 4:30, and then we have games on Friday and Saturday. We conclude with the championship game on Saturday at 6 o'clock, and so hopefully the Bulldogs make their way there. The 6 o'clock game on Saturday.
For sure, and what a fitting way to start it off with the rematch of the regional final from last year. It's going to be great. We got a lot of things to talk about here today. Obviously, we'll start off with the number one. Obviously, we just mentioned a lot going on this weekend. Right. A lot of championships happening, right? Football playoffs being hosted at Top Taggart Field, and then we have the whole regional here in this building. All 7 games, regardless of who goes on in the building. And that's a really big impact. Obviously, we'd love to see the Bulldogs go to the regional final. Hopefully, you guys are here, right? 4:30 on Thursday, and then from there on out, they'd be night games Friday night and Saturday if they make it to the semis and the final. But overall, just having all of the people from each and every respective school, all their fans, all of their staff in the building, and having just the whole fan base here in Big Rapids helps immensely both football and volleyball.
Oh, it does. There's no doubt. I think the economic impact is, it's hard to put an exact number on it, but it's certainly pretty significant, right? When you bring 8 teams here just for volleyball, and then we have the last year's national champions in football, Harding, coming here. So you have the two over the last 3 years in Division II college football, right? The national champions, us, and Harding will be playing on Saturday at 1 o'clock. And so that's going to bring a lot of excitement and a lot of people to Big Rapids for that event as well. So, there's no question that this place will be hopping. The building will be busy. The campus will be busy with lots of excitement and obviously enthusiasm. And it's going to be a big weekend. It'll be a big weekend in Big Rapids as well as on campus and obviously for our volleyball women and for our football program.
For sure. Big weekend for fans and also potentially snow plows. We'll get there eventually as we go along.
We're good at that, though.
We are good at
that.
Yes. Great weekend last week. Got in the snow.
Yeah, so thanks, facilities, for all the work that you do because you certainly help us pull off a quality event. Yeah,
and it really starts with those people, operations crew, the communications, the media crew, everybody involved, whether it's concessions, whether obviously operations, snow plowing, parking, public safety. I mean, they make these weekends possible, right? It's not just one event, it's multiple, and they do it seamlessly.
They do a very good job, and so we're grateful for all the work that those people put in, and then Stephanie and Josh and the work at our game operations crew and Tim Blashill. There's a lot of people, Rob Bentley, that work really hard to pull off a quality operation and a quality event. And I think one of the compliments, in fact, I'm really proud of the compliment we received last week from Adam Dorrell, the head coach at the University of Central Oklahoma, when he talked about and complimented our staff for the quality event that we put on at football last weekend. So it's a credit to all those people that we mentioned and so many others that we just wouldn't have time to name all the names of the people that contribute to that.
Absolutely. And it's going to be a busy weekend for one of the newest Bulldog additions here, head athletic trainer Megan Snow being hired in.
Megan Snow. Yeah, excited about Megan. So Megan has been with us now, I think almost 3 weeks. She has been with us. So she was previously at Corwell in an administrative position, but she has had a long history of athletic training at the collegiate level. And so we're excited to have her. Her experience both as an athletic trainer at the collegiate level combined with her experience as an administrator at Corwell, I think will serve us very well. We're looking for some leadership down there in that particular area. And I appreciated, what Mackenzie did for us in the interim. But now we're excited to have somebody that's a veteran, both administratively and in athletic training, to take the reins down there and guide us as we talked. And we talked about this in the last show. Guide us through part of this holistic student model, right? As we begin to make some changes to do a better job adhering to that particular policy, we really need some leadership in that area, and Megan's going to provide that for us.
Yeah, we're so glad that Megan is here with us, and I know a lot of the Bulldog student athletes, and especially the other trainers now, with a little bit lesser of a workload.
Catch your breath for a moment.
Exactly. Big weekend ahead, and especially with football, obviously, really big weekend, regional championship, as you mentioned, with Harding. You have the last 3 years of national champions on one field at one time. Very exciting. But I think the biggest thing, too, is looking at the playoffs. Obviously, a lot of people have talked about the playoffs the last couple of years when it comes to how heavy Super Region 3, where the Bulldogs lie with a lot of these schools with the GLVC, as well as the MIAA. But now it appears realignment is coming and the road might be a little easier starting next year.
It is. I don't know if it'll be easier, but certainly Region 3 will be changing. So the MIAA and the GAC will be moving out. They're actually going to Region 4. For us, we're going to add the GMAC back in, which is Ashland, Findlay, that group kind of, I think primarily in Ohio. Northwood's also in that conference, as well as Hillsdale when you think of Michigan schools. And then we're going to add the Northern Sun Conference into Region 3. So we lose 2, but bring 2 in. And the Northern Sun is Winona State, St. Cloud, that group up in the Minnesota area. So they'll be coming into Region 3. So Region 3 will definitely have a different look. I think there's some high-quality teams in both of those conferences, but certainly it will have a different look and feel to it.
Absolutely. And I think especially it just gives the whole football fan base, a lot to look forward to when it comes to the shakeups potentially now with those evenly distributed regions as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's been a sense, or at least a feeling, that so often the national championship game has been played in Region 3, and that's not to say that that's been the case every year, but I think there's some sense that has happened more than what it probably should have. You want to save that big game, that top tier game, that highly competitive game for the national championship game. You don't necessarily want to play it early in regional play, and I think that's what's happened too often. And so we'll see what this new regional alignment does for that.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. And very exciting news might be broken here on this show. And you talked about the NIL collective, some of those kind of conversations and things that other schools have done, right? The women's basketball team with the NIL deal with Mitch Lyons Wealth. And now it looks like there's going to be another addition to the Bulldog lineup when it comes to working with those NIL deals with now Opendorse.
Yeah, I'm excited to announce that we signed with Opendorse, and they're a group that primarily serves student athletes in terms of connecting them with fans, with companies, with supporters, to provide them opportunities to have NIL opportunities. They also manage those opportunities. They also come in and do NIL education. So really excited about that partnership. And we just recently signed that, and we'll have something out on our webpage at some point when Rob Bentley gets an opportunity to catch his breath.
Exactly.
And we all do, and coordinated a release on that. But I'm happy to announce that here. And it'll be impactful for our student athletes. And the NIL space for us is growing. Some of that is due to the fact that we've made an effort to try to build in that particular space, but also the success of our teams, right? When you have successful teams, there's going to be more of those opportunities for our student athletes, and we've achieved a high level of success, so there's more opportunities. So having someone come in to help us manage those and connect more of those opportunities to our student athletes is going to be really beneficial, and Opendorse is going to allow us to do that.
Absolutely. And Opendorse will be also an addition for not only just, the major teams, right, that are looking at NIL at the major levels, football, basketball, but all 18 teams at Ferris as well.
Oh, right on. And so, so much of it depends upon your ability as a student athlete, one, to brand yourself, to what you're following on social media, right? What kind of influence do you have as a student athlete? So I don't think it necessarily depends upon what sport you play. I think there's plenty of opportunities for lots of student athletes across all of our sports.
Absolutely. And more exciting things obviously coming on the horizon for Ferris State. And some of them we can't share just yet, but are there any things that fans can look forward to maybe for the next episode, looking up here, maybe flip the script into 2025?
Well, hopefully we're sitting here talking about a couple national championships.
That would be
right?
nice.
That would be great, right? What are we going to do to celebrate these national championships? So I certainly hope that's a conversation that we're having at that time.
Absolutely. And I guess to finish out here, especially, I know a lot of the fans are looking forward to what's happening this weekend, and obviously championship success, hopefully, cross your fingers, over the next couple of weeks. When it comes to how much that impacts the university as a whole, obviously athletic department, the programs itself, recruiting, a lot of those things become easier when you have that allure of a trophy in a case. Sure. But within the whole university, I know you will collaborate a lot with Dr. Bill Pink on a lot of those things. I mean, just talk about, just for a minute, how much that impact makes on the university as a whole, just with general students, with even potential fans that want to come to Ferris State, get their education as well as support the Bulldogs, whether it's on the field, on the competitive surface, whatever it may be. Yeah, I think it has a broad impact, and I have to give a lot of credit to President Pink because he recognized right away the impact that athletics can have on a university, and I think that he has directed people to leverage our success, right?
to enhance both recruiting of just not only student athletes, but just students in general, right? So I know that our admission staff has done a wonderful job of talking about athletics and the experience you can have as a student when you come to games. I know that our Kathy Mullins, our Vice President for Advancement and Marketing, I know she's done a wonderful job of leveraging our success and getting folks to places and connecting with alumni. So I think the impact is broad, and I give all those people credit for looking at athletics, not only from the standpoint of, hey, we want to provide an outstanding student athlete experience, which is always our number one goal, and make sure we graduate our student athletes, but also just from a university standpoint of, hey, how can we leverage this success to help and touch so many other areas on campus?
Absolutely. That's going to do it for AD episode number 3 of AD Updates. Steve, thank you so much for joining us. And as you mentioned, hopefully we're talking some great things on our next episode here upcoming likely in 2025.
Yeah, go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Be sure to subscribe Ferris State Athletics on YouTube so you don't miss out on any episodes of AD Update.